Hey, everybody, this is the kickoff of Star Wars Saturdays, where I run Star Wars themed RPGs for the Gauntlet on Saturdays. We are kicking off with Star Wars World, which is an apocalypse engine game. It's a hack for the Star Wars setting, appropriate for this game. Written by Andrew Medeiros. I believe it's available on Star Wars World, which is his G Plus community. We are using the Nebula edition of the rules, and this is my first time through the rules, but it's 31 pages, and I think we're going to be fine. We have gotten the characters up to the point of talking about connections, and with those connections, develop bonds, and that's a cool new part of the Star Wars World rules that didn't exist in previous editions as far as how bonds work, but connections are still there. So we start off with Christo, and what I'd like to do is just everybody give an introduction of your character name, playbook, like a little bit of look and personality. Then we'll circle back around and we'll do connections and develop those between everybody to generate your bonds. And then I'll describe what bonds do in this rule set. It's simple, but it's different enough that I wanted to have that conversation. And we'll get things started. So, Christo, tell us about your character.
I'll be playing Ariata. She wears dark clothing. She's an operative. She is very candid and passionate. So that will come out and play a fair amount and probably will get her in trouble fairly often. She has, and we'll have to decide how this happened. She has an antique lightsaber, frag grenades, and a vibro knife, of course, because you just can't pass up on a vibro knife.
Right,
And
right.
and again, we can establish, I guess, in the fiction how she ended up with all those things, depending on how we arrived and where we are. Um, I think that's all I really need to describe about her right now.
I think so too. That is really great. Awesome. And she is a female Twi'lek.
Yes, the most important thing, of course.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you, Christo. Michael, returning from last year's Star
Yeah,
Wars World. We have a legacy here, guys.
I know. I'm very excited to be reprising my role as Zuto, the bounty hunter. Zuto is an odd duck as far as bounty hunters go. He's very sympathetic towards the plight of those that he is capturing, but he still has, his principles as a bounty hunter that he has to live by. Um, he's sort of a little bit into Force mysticism. He believes that everything happens for a reason. And so that's why I'm putting you in handcuffs today. It's nothing personal. It's just the will of the universe. Um, he is an Otagan, which, if you're familiar with Athorians, he's an Athorian with a mouth. That's about it. But
He's a mouthy Thorian. Is that what you're
he's a
saying?
mouthy Athorian, right? But he's about like 6.5 feet tall. So he's pretty tall, kind of broad shoulders. So he kind of has an imposing frame, but he wears very simple clothing. He has sort of a comforting facial features and expressions. So that's Zuto.
That is Zuto indeed. I love it. Larry, tell us about your character, please.
I'm going to be playing, I'm going to pronounce it Nero, I think, who is a male Twi'lek. And as far as look goes, I'm imagining him wearing sort of a ragged duster, I think it's called. It's like sort of like a trench coat, but longer. I imagine him to be dashing and svelte. I think the male Twi'leks typically have sort of sharpened teeth, so I kind of dig that when I have him have that. And in terms of, oh, and he's a scoundrel. So I think he's been a pirate for a while. I imagine the rough backstory is that at one point he was actually a slave, but um, escaped, killed the guy who was like trafficking him or attempting to traffic him, and took his ship, and now he's a pirate.
Oh, wow. Took that guy's ship. Nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Last but not least, we have Steven.
I'm playing Mora. She is a human noble. I took the noble playbook because I wanted to play the crime lord aspect of it. She's small of frame, soft features, but ruthless as all get out. And basically, she has a she's probably responsible for getting jobs and things like that. She has a crime organization that's probably a part of a larger organization, or uh, is indebted to a larger organization. There's a shuttle with with a pilot and some crew, and I have a commando droid, decommissioned commando droid bodyguard.
Oh, that's cool. What is your decommissioned commando droid bodyguard named?
LPP0, or Lupo for short. I'll get pictures in the character builder here in a second.
And what is Lupo's general outlook on things? Like, how does I'm going to use a male gender if you don't mind. I mean, I can use
that's fine.
Okay. How does he treat your character? Deferentially? Is this a job for him?
I think this is a commander. So it's sort of still in a military hierarchy, where whenever she says jump, he jumps. She says get over there, lay down covering fire, protect me, watch out for any danger, that kind of stuff. So takes commands, isn't really at ease in her presence.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Treats this as totally as a military commander, commandee situation.
Nice. Okay. This is some interesting stuff. I love it. Let's circle back around. And Christo, if you could lead us off and talk about connections. Let's go ahead and get as many connections done. You do not have to fill all of them out, but I love it if we can find things that fit for everybody.
Oh. You said this didn't happen. I'm going to prove you wrong. I've slept with blank before, but it was only to get intel. That's on my character sheet.
Just for intel, baby.
Yeah, that's all it was. It's nothing personal.
If we're going to be related, then I'm out.
Yeah, no.
You guys have bunk beds. There you go. That counts. Oh, wait. No. That's a different sleep.
If everybody's uncomfortable with that, I can go for something else because there are plenty here. This is another good one. Blank keeps trying to make me respectable. They have a lot to learn. Does that appeal to anybody?
Really?
Really? Oh, okay. I thought that one would be fun.
Yeah, I think that's a fun one. I just
Shuuta doesn't want to make anybody respectable.
So I don't mind the first one, which is sleeping with, but you've got a brother and a lot of other races here, so that might be a little bit different. Then with the second one, I think we're all not respectable.
Right.
So
that's the
problem.
problem.
Actually, I'll take the second one if you'd like. Trying to make you respectable, because you have to appear you are a operative.
Mm-hmm.
In order to infiltrate, higher level businesses, you have to appear as if you know what you're doing about. You have to appear at least respectable so that they'll let you in the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't forget that in this game, you've got those XP triggers, and that fits really well with the noble. You can talk about reputation and commend people for their petty actions to help you. Anyway, if someone started to say something, I talked over them. Oh, I misinterpreted. Awesome. Okay, Christo, keep going.
Let's see. I stabbed blank in the back, and they never found out it was me. Mm-hmm.
He wants to be shot in the back.
Oh, let it be my brother.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I think that has dramatic possibilities for sure.
Last time I played, I'd been shot in the back by a different agent. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, with Pseudo's got a big back though.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I think the brother could be an interesting angle.
the brother is fascinating. So let's develop that a little bit. Was it for the job? Did he end up being, I don't know, captured here because of that? That's how you stabbed him in the back?
Oh, damn.
I like that. Yeah, we can say there's a guilt there. So I probably shot him with a stunner of some sort because he was in the way, and maybe I didn't realize from the back it was him. I don't know how likely that would be, but he's a scoundrel, so these things happen in
Yeah.
our line of work.
I'm a scoundrel because you made me that way.
Am I the older sister? Is that where we're going, or am I the younger sister?
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe, yeah, I think you can be older. I could be the younger brother. So when you say you're an operative, like that means like you're doing something. You're like political, like you're going on missions. Is that sort of the idea for the?
That's how I see it. Is that how you were seeing it, Christo?
I was seeing myself as a spy, sort of. So because I have an
A rebel
infiltration.
spy?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Awesome.
Okay, so you're a rebel spy. So maybe you sort of recruited me on. I was sort of helping you out in one of your missions, and as part of to realize the fruits of that mission, like you kind of had to, for some reason, you kind of had to sell me out.
Ooh.
And then I ended up getting captured. But you had to do it, sacrifice it for the greater good, kind of thing. Of course, I'm not gonna. There's a lot of hurt and resentment involved with that.
But I got you out.
Did you? I think I freed myself.
Oh, little brother, you like to think that. You're so cute. Okay, I like that one.
Okay, cool. So we circle back to the thing I suggested, and I just want to make sure that you're still on board with it for our wonderful Nero. Nero, you just escaped from TEEMO the Hutt. He captured you. We good with that? You got screwed over by your sister and ended up being captured by TEEMO just recently. And we can figure out why in just a minute. It doesn't have to be about the slavery thing. You could have basically dropped cargo at the first sign of imperial. Oh, wait, that's been done. Okay, cool.
Okay, sweet.
Good. All right. So what else do we have for our operative?
Oh, let's see.
Tracking the movements, worked a spec ops job, and has my back. Those are the three I see you haven't thrown
Let's
out.
let's do has my back. So who has my back no matter what goes down? I guess it's not my brother.
I think that could be Zuto, unless more that one works better for you.
I think Zuto would be interesting, especially if, for instance, there is a bounty on me.
Right.
So you'd have to figure out why it is that or why it is you're not bringing me in right now. Maybe you've got a plan.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So let's talk about why do you have her back?
There's something just so intriguing about this rebel force. It's like there's something going on there. I don't know if I'm fully a rebel myself, but I'd like to know a little bit more about their organization. So I'll help you out, but I won't necessarily tie my allegiance to your cause just yet. But I think you're a pretty cool cat, so I'll stick around with you.
So we're saying then that you're aware that she is a rebel operative.
Are you comfortable with that? Or do you want to be totally incognito?
I have a feeling
that like looking forward to that dramatic reveal of like, I was a spy. Okay.
No, I have a feeling that she's actually not very good about the secret part.
Yeah, you did say that whole like she's super direct. Okay, cool. So yeah, that works. And so there's that. You've got a connection with Zuto. You got a connection with Nero. We have a connection with Mora. Are you done? Do you have any more you wanted to throw out? Because we can double up a little bit if you've got one that you really like. If not, we can move on.
No, I think we give everybody else a chance. I think 3 is enough, and theoretically, we can more be established during play.
Absolutely. That's the thing we'll talk about in a minute. Bonds are huge in this game. Like you can get bonds like awesome.
Okay.
And next we have Zuto.
Zuto. Yes. So I have one that kind of stuck out to me right away. I know we already mentioned not wanting to have hostile relationships, but I like this idea. I don't like Nero one bit. They just get on my nerves. So I'm thinking like Nero is like this dashing figure, and he kind of like outshines Zuto sometimes. Like Zuto will be prepared to like enter a room all dramatically, and then Nero kind of steps in and has his duster trailing behind him, and Zuto's kind of like left in the dust. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, actually, I might change my demeanor to something like more like arrogant.
Okay.
That's nice.
Just based on that, I think we're going to go with arrogant.
So I think that'd be kind of an interesting
always good.
dynamic. Like I have your sister's back, but I don't like you so much. You get on my nerves.
Right, right.
I think that Mora, you are well regarded by the guild, so the Guild of Bounty Hunters, because you're a crime lord. I think that they like your organization.
We have to do business, of course.
But yeah, well regarded.
Well, let's talk for a second. Let's put a finer
Sure.
point on that. How many bounties have you fetched for Mora?
Me personally.
Yeah.
I think I've probably done 3 or 4 in the past, right? Zuto has a pretty long list. He's been in the game for a while. But I think for Mora specifically, probably 3 or 4.
And Mora, what do you normally call bounties for within your organization?
Usually these are people who have double-crossed or not made deliveries when they were supposed to. So this is going to be people who have sold their cargo to someone else, smugglers who've run off, that kind of thing.
Smugglers have run off. Interesting. Okay. So I'm curious, Nero, are there any of your like peers that you maybe swap some drinks with who have been captured by Zuto to be taken back to Mora? They don't have to be friends, but maybe you played some sabacc with them, perhaps.
Sorry, I got slightly distracted. Could you repeat that?
That's okay. So we just established that Zuto, who's a bounty hunter, has fetched at least 3 or 4 people for the crime lord, Mora. And I was asking you, because one of the things I asked Mora, so what are things that you have called bounties for? And she said, well, sometimes there are smugglers who have not done their job appropriately and then hop in their ship and go away. And so I thought, hey, smuggler, that would be kind of cool. What if your scoundrel might know your opinion on them is completely up to you, but know at least one of the gentle beings who has been fetched by Zuto? And I was checking in with you to see if you liked that.
Oh, one of the people that Zuto has captured. I'm totally down with it, but I don't have any great ideas sort of pop out on how to flesh it out. Does anybody?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can just throw the name. I could say something like Rich hurriedly goes to the NPC's names. Perhaps it was Rami, who is a smuggler of no great renown. Rami mostly snags things from junk worlds and tries to pawn them off as really great deals. So occasionally he goes to Raxus Prime, which is like a giant junkyard world. And Rami is the guy who sold some bad goods to Mora. You knew it was coming any day now, right? Some rotation or another, Rami was going to get hosed. And we'll say that Rami is a Sulliston. Those are the real squat dudes from Cloud City. Right? No,
okay,
Sulliston.
So Rami's... Go ahead.
Rami is a Sulliston who you've played sabacc with a few times. You knew that he would pawn off low grade quality goods as primo, gently used things. And evidently he pushed his luck one too many times against Mora, and she sent Zuto after him. Good? That makes sense.
Nice.
And the
Yeah,
Celestin.
no, it plays well. Yeah.
Okay, good. So Rami's a Celestin. Celestin, if I remember correctly, is the species that was the co-pilot for Lando when he was flying around in Millennium Falcon.
Kind of fishy looking people.
Yeah. They have really broad faces.
Speaks Portuguese.
Is that what it was? That's awesome. Did not know that. I love it. I love trivia. Okay.
So finally, I think to make things a little bit more interesting with Ariata, I was thinking about going with I've hunted Ariata in the past, but she slipped through my fingers, partly as a way to show how you've earned my respect. I don't have a lot of people who managed to evade my net, so you're muted, but I'm seeing thumbs up, so I'll go ahead and
Yes, Ariata is all for that.
cool.
Awesome. Does that finish you up?
Yeah, I think that's good for me.
Excellent. Now let us work on connections for Nero.
Cool. Let's see. The first suggested connection is blank is a member of my crew and I trust them. I don't know if anybody's really. I'm not sure if that one fits very well. Does anybody want to jump on that one? Probably not, right?
I don't know. It could be sort of fun if you trusted Ariata after everything that's gone down. Oh, but you don't know it was me that stabbed you in the back. So that could be that whole guilt thing going there, that I'm a member of your crew and I feel really guilty about what I did to you. That's...
But how would you be a member of my pirate crew if you're still an operative? Is that part of your cover or something? Or
you help me get into places I need to go, right?
Here you go.
And I might bring a little money for you, right? My
I got a new job. I hooked you up, Nero. We just need to go over here to this system. And by the way, I need a couple days off.
Yeah, it'll be a breeze. It'll be easy money.
But am I aware of like your undercover operations? I kind of want to be aware because I sort of like the tension between like your political ideals and like my crass materialism. What do you think about that?
Sure, that works.
It's awesome.
Okay. And so
it's like, oh man,
I can see my conversations with my boss. Can you trust him? Well, as long as we pay him well, it's going to be okay.
It's like, totally. My sister's a member of Antifa. Oh, this is just, but I love her, but man, she's just crazy with these ideals.
Okay, sweet. All right, so then you are part of my crew. And let's see, the second suggested connection is blank is a member of my crew and I do not trust them. But I guess I don't know. Anybody have any feelings about that?
What if we broaden it a little bit? I know that, Steven, you mentioned that Mora hooks people up as part of being a crime lord. If we broaden the idea of crew, and maybe you're a person that has set Nero up on jobs, does that feel?
Yeah, that sounds great. Basically, I could be kind of your, a temporary employer at points.
So maybe we're sort of like a network of like jobs and contacts, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe we're a collaborative group that does jobs, and so we give jobs to each other and help each other out. Does that make sense? Freelancers.
And Nero, remind me if that was and you trust Mora or you don't trust Mora.
I mean, I think we can do either one.
I think it's written as you don't trust them, though.
Oh yeah. Okay, I like don't trust. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think don't trust maybe is a little bit more interesting. Okay, so you give me jobs, but I don't really trust you. All right.
Sorry, I just read that goes on and on about hokey religions and ancient weapons, as if I'm supposed to care.
That's a good one. Okay, so the next connection is I've worked a few jobs in the past with blank. We're solid. Hmm. And given what we've previously established about Zuto, I mean, I guess, because I feel like at this point, like Zuto resents me because I'm dashing. And he kind of captured one of my friends. But maybe previous to you capturing Rami, we had done some jobs together. I don't know. Any thoughts, Zuto?
Sorry, I was looking at Star Wars swear words. Repeat that one for me real quick.
Yeah. So I was wondering whether you wanted to take up I've worked a few jobs in the past with you. We're solid, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really fit still.
Solid. Well, so Rich, when you said that you saw one about going on and on about hokey religions, was that for the scoundrel?
It was a scoundrel connection that just tickled me to no.
I mean, that one might work for Zuto because he does talk about like the Force and the destiny of the universe and stuff like that. Unless you don't think that's hokey.
No,
but
that's hokey.
okay, cool. I think that would be a perfect fit for Zuto.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so I think that gives me connections with everybody. I think we could
Nice.
stop there.
Very good work. Last but not least, we have Mora.
So, I have a couple that stood out. Let's talk about Blank has given me plenty of reasons not to trust them. Okay.
You have some.
That could be me.
You have some associates of Rami.
It could be Ariata, which could be interesting.
I know.
Giving jobs to the brother, but the sister, something about her is just not quite right.
But you're also trying to make me more presentable, so.
I also have Blank has worked with me before. I trust them well enough. I've definitely worked with Ariata. I've definitely worked with Nero.
And we established
Zuto's
done a few jobs. Yeah.
So, who do I trust?
You've worked with us all, but who do you trust?
So how about if I trust? I think the trusting relationship there is going to be Zuto, right? How do you feel about that, Michael?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Let's see. I've proven myself to someone that I can handle myself under pressure. Do any of you like that?
You've proven that you can handle yourself under pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that because that would give Ariata a respect for you, which then might give you the influence to try and make me more presentable.
Oh, nice! Perfect. I like that. That's a nice little 1-2 punch.
Okay. And I have the other kind of connections have to do with sleeping or feelings, which I'm not sure we want to get into. Let's deal with. I know that someone can be bought with the right amount of credits. Does that feel okay for Nero?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely. I'm pretty mercenary, I think, at this point.
Okay. Awesome.
But if you want to have slept with me, that's also fine.
Yeah. My others are Blank seems to have strong feelings for me, but I don't share them. So I think that's developing a very, relationship things that I'm not sure we're going to get to in a couple of sessions. So.
Oh, you know what? Feelings?
Come on.
Like I just threw up a potential male. There's not many male Twi'lek pictures out there. Totally delete it if you don't like it. Not a whole lot of male Twi'lek pictures out in the world. Only females and are all slaves in Star Wars world. It is gross.
I was gonna say they're all slaves and they're all in like bikinis and whatnot.
Yep, which is why I love Hera Syndulla so much. She's the best. Cool. Awesome. So I'm going to try to draw things together and see if this makes sense. And we can explore it a little bit more. But I'm imagining that through no fault of his own, Nero was captured by some Gamorreans and brought back to TEEMO the Hutt. And so, Ariata, you gathered together some people who could help you in a pinch and sprung him, but he had already gotten out by himself. Basically, you ended up in the palace of TEEMO the Hutt, but he had already broken out. I don't know if you knocked out a guard or killed a guard, but I think that's cool. Mora, do you think that you were part of Ariada's little task force, or were you here to negotiate something with TEEMO and things went pear-shaped and a fight broke out?
I could see it either way. I think it might be better if maybe either Zuto or Ariata hired me to see about getting the brother back from the Hutt, and maybe they can't pay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. So something went wrong between your conversation with TEEMO, then Mora. I think TEEMO just decided, hey, I've got you here. You've got a droid, and he decided to try to take you out. Is that cool? We good with that?
Yeah.
He doesn't like competition, huh?
Doesn't like competition. He's heard that she's a crime lord, so crime lady sounds less cool than crime lord. So can we just make it non-gender specific?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So you're a crime lord, and TEEMO decided to double cross you, and yeah. So now the four of you are on the ropes. I've gone back and forth about doing an opening crawl here, guys. Like, I had an opening crawl ready to go, but then Rogue One didn't have an opening crawl, and it was like grimier, and I'm like, is this grimier? So yeah, it's with mixed feelings, but I think what I'm gonna do is stick with I'm gonna go with the verbiage of the opening crawl that you guys had already had a chance to skim over, and then we will begin with that. So the crawl was escape from Mos Shuuta. It's a period of unrest and opportunity in the galaxy. The Galactic Empire struggles to maintain control in the midst of civil war. Meanwhile, the scoundrels and smugglers, explorers and expatriates, and fringers of all types scramble for a living on the edges of galactic civilization. It is a hard life, but these renegades have more freedom and opportunity than any citizen of the core worlds. On the desert world of Tatooine, a few such renegades have run afoul of a local crime boss, TEEMO the Hutt. Trapped in the tiny spaceport of Mos Shuuta, the renegades have no choice but to steal a starship and flee TEEMO's forces. Fortunately, a suitable starship has recently docked on the landing bay, a freighter called the KRAYT FANG, captained by a Trandoshan slaver named Trex. Slaver. As they flee through the sun's-baked streets, the renegades duck into the local cantina to hide from their pursuers. That is our opening crawl, and the four of you step down a short flight of stairs into the cantina's shadowy common room. The cool air here is a blessed relief from the scorching heat of Tatooine. The bartender is a Deveronian, and he pauses to stare as the four of you enter. The Deveronians are the ones with the devilish features, and he has one of his two horns is slightly shorn off. And then up on stage against the far wall is an Umbaran female. They look somewhat human, except they are completely hairless. They have gray circles around their eyes and a very, very grayish skin. So there's an Umbaran female who is dancing to recorded music. You see private booths line the walls, and the cantina floor is scattered with tables and chairs. There are a few patrons who turn in their seats to stare at you, and you see that there are exits in the room from maybe a storage closet in one corner, and then a doorway that's behind the Umbaran dancer. The roof above you is supported by thick, heavy struts, and you only have a few moments before the Gamorreans, with their electric clubs and cudgels, make their way into the cantina. So, Zuto, what are you doing when you come dashing into this cantina?
First thing I want to look for is if there's any exits other than the one we just came in.
So the one you just came in, there appears to be a door behind the Umbaran dancer. And then there's a door, but it looks like it might go to a storage closet. You're not entirely sure that's behind the bar. The Umbaran dancer, her name is Yana. She is on the NPCs and places if you want to get a look at what she looks like, as is the Deveronian bartender, who looks awesome because I just stole it from the cantina scene because there are no better Deveronians than that one Deveronian.
Well, folks, I think they're playing our song. I think we ought to see that door there. What if we make a quick, hasty exit through the back? Might have to do a little do-si-do with that fine Umbaran on the way.
Cool. So it looks like Zuto's leading the way towards the Umbaran dancer. What are you doing, Nero?
So I'm wondering if I know somebody at this bar, since I have friends in low places.
Oh, wow.
Who might be able to, I don't know, like guide us out like some side door, or maybe even like a hidden kind of room that we can like, you know, hang out in until the, you know, TEEMO the Hutt's guards pass by. Something along those lines.
Awesome. So when you visit a new place, you can declare you have shady friends there and roll with focus on hit. Your friends are well positioned to help you out with something. So I'll link you back into the roll for your party.
Okay. Cool. Waiting for it to connect. There we go. And I rolled a. What did I do?
I don't know. I see a lot of dice. You roll 46. Pick the best two. Is that what your friends in low places does? No.
Okay, I selected 2 dice. I'm going to re-roll them. Oh, damn! A 4.
You rolled a 4. Awesome. Yeah, on a miss, your old friends have become new enemies.
Oh, sorry, guys.
So first of all, you get an XP. Hooray.
Okay.
Good for you. You are looking across, and no, I'm not going to go with a gun. That's too dumb. You see that there is a greenish-skinned male who you know is a feline, and the feline is named Mercer. In feline, he has a different name. That is the name he gives. So you see the feline, and so they have the cool kind of reddish hair that's pulled into a braid at the back. very sweeping forehead with ridges, a little similar to like a green Klingon is a little bit what I see a Feline looking like. And he sees you. He's at the bar. He's talking with a Deveroni when you walk in. And then he reaches for a blaster. What do you do? He says,
Shit. I think I'm going to try to like grab his arm before he's able to pull the blaster out of its holster, and then you said he's sitting at the bar, right?
he is sitting at the bar.
Okay, so grab his hand with one hand of mine so he can't pull out the blaster, and then use the other hand sort of like the base of his skull and like slam his head into the bar table.
That sounds awesome. So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to resolve that with remembering your training, right? You've been in bar fights. So I want you to have you roll with prowess. Now, before you click those dice, I want to make sure everyone is clear on how helping works in case you want to help in this. So when you need help with a roll and someone is your only hope, you can ask them if they help you, which means you can roll the dice first, Nero, and then ask for help. Everyone, because you've all established connections, you have one bond with all the other player characters each. There are bonds listed on the character keeper, rows 45 through 47. So you can go ahead and put ones there. I did Zudo as an example. Okay? But that's an ongoing resource. So you have connections, which we did at play start, but the bond will go up and down because the way it happens is Nero makes the roll. If he fails or if he gets a 7 and a 9, say he gets a 9, he wants to tick it up to 10, then whoever wants to, they spend bonds to increase the roll 1 for 1. And then we get a little fiction as to how you plan to help or what you're doing to help out. Then that affects the roll. That drains the bonds, but it's very easy to get new bonds, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Well, let's go ahead and see the die results and see how you pull this off, or don't, as it were.
Given that I have a -1 prowess, it's not looking good, but let's see.
Not very poetic.
Oh, I got 9 - 1, 8.
Awesome. Okay, so and remember your training on a hit, you do it at little to no cost. 7 and 9 will say what it costs you or how it's imperfect or compromised. So you run up, you grab his arm, he fires off the blaster, and it goes up into the ceiling. You slam his head into the bar, but in the doing, he basically, the blaster hits one of the glasses. There's a little bit of glass shard to go up. I'm going to go ahead and have you take a strain from the fight, but you're able to knock out your once friend, Mercer, who thought he was going to be able to get an easy bounty off of you.
What a jerk.
During this fight...
know how to make friends, Nero.
So does it look like Mercer's by himself, or does he have friends here in the bar?
That is a great question. Why don't you snoop around,
Okay.
Mora, as you enter? So when you look around for clues or set out to search information or specific goods, roll with guile. Maybe that's not the right move. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because snoop around is looking for clues, and you're looking for stuff. No. I'm going with it. Yeah, I think that move works better than trusting your feelings right now. So.
Okay, so I'm doing a quick look around to see if he seems to have this handled okay. I'm looking to see if anyone else is stepping up to back him up. I rolled a 5. My guile is 2, so I got a 7.
Excellent. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, you find what you're looking for, but it costs valuable time credits. So it turns out that yes, he does have a friend. There is a squat little Jawa who's coming out of the John, and that little Jawa is headed towards the bar and stops and sees this big fight break out, and now he's going to try to hide behind a table. You spot him easily.
So I point to him and I tell him, "You will all be sorry whenever our Gamerian bodyguards arrive." and kind of push the other guys towards the back door.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. The Jawa screams out "Hootiri!" and turns and tries to waddle run for the bathroom again. The threat of Gamorreans is very potent for Jawa. Yes, the music's still going because it's piped in. It's not like musicians are going to stop at the sound of blaster. The Deveronian, he has dropped down behind the bar. And he's like, "Get out of here! TEEMO gives me protection." And yeah, so in Baran, she's kind of ducked down. The other patrons are seeing there's a fight going on. There's a threat of Gamorreans. What is it that you guys want to do? Ariata, what are you doing?
Wait, so what's up with Nero? So he's been hit by what?
Oh, there was some shattered glass, and he took a shot to his ribs, but he has disabled the Feline Mercer.
Okay, so I think Ariata will say, Nero, stop playing with your friends. We have things to take care of. Let's get out of here. And I think she'll
not
start.
much of a friend, but
I think she'll be like coming up to him and like grabbing Nero by the arm and pulling him towards the back door. I guess that's where we were going.
Yeah. So, Zuto, I bend down and I pat the Umbrella on the back and say, "Sorry for interrupting your performance, ma'am. We'll just be on our way through this back door here. I'm sure this leads to the alleyway, right?"
Nice. So yeah, she's stuck down. You ask if it's headed out to the alleyway. She's cowering. She's like up on a little pedestal thing, and she's kind of just dropped down behind the pedestal. And you just walk right up to her, and she looks up with her kind of gray circle eyes. Her eyes are a little pale. She says, "Yes, please, just don't hurt me."
"Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Not such a graceful figure as yourself. We'll just be on our way. Don't worry about that."
Cool.
I'll kind of
So,
open the door and usher
awesome.
people through.
So you pull open the door, sunlight comes in. You know, it's the kind of thing that makes you squint because you're in this dingy, dark cantina, and you step out into the alleyway. Mora, now we hadn't established this, but I want to check in. Lupo's with you?
Lupo did not come into the cantina.
Okay.
I told him to stay outside.
Awesome.
So I figure he could be around the alleyway or guarding the front door or something like that. Yeah.
Well, Gamorreans are like literally coming around. Would he engage them and fight them right now? I just want to know.
Only if I ordered. He would come as backup. So if the Gamorrean, he could stay out there for a little bit. Okay, so this is what I actually had in mind. On our run here, I basically saw some, homeless dude and grabbed his robe, the thick brown robe kind of thing.
Nice.
And stuffed that on Lupo. So Lupo just kind of hunkered down in the corner, watching, near the front door, waiting for us to hole up. I could then radio him and say, "Come on through, Lupo, we're in the back."
You
Okay.
stole the cloak off a bum?
That's right.
He's so ruthless.
Exactly.
Did you drop any credits there, or just yank it and go?
No, just yank that bum. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know when you did that, like Ariada's brow went like way up, and you see her mouth the word respectable.
I think Zuto like dropped a couple cred sticks or something.
Thank you. There we go.
Along the way, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for that. That's just so exciting. Okay, cool. So, Moira, you see that Zuto has opened up the door to the alleyway, and you've taken care of things, Nero, as well as you can right now. Mercer's slowly sliding down the bar towards the floor. What are you doing, Nero?
I'm going to just bust out into the. I mean, do I see what's going on in the alleyway? Is anything going on in the alleyway?
Oh, great question. So there's no one in the alleyway yet.
Okay. I mean, I'm imagining that. Well, no, I got captured. I'm trying to figure out like where my ship is. I mean, so I got nabbed by TEEMO the Hutt.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm imagining that's because I was originally like either sold to him, and then when I got escaped, so it maybe looks bad that like one of his slaves has escaped, and so he really wanted to get me back. I don't know. So I think I probably want to like head to the docks. Do I know where the docks are?
Great question. So there's a tab on the character keeper called Mos Shuuta map. There are
Oh, yeah.
two landing bays. There's landing bay Auric and landing bay Besh, which in non-Star Wars parlance is landing bay A and landing bay B.
And the cantina. Okay, the cantina is down there.
Yep, and I even have a little rebel symbol by the cantina, so you have an idea. So you guys escaped from TEEMO's palace, kind of ran east, southeasterly, and ended up ducking into the cantina with Gamorreans in pursuit. You've ducked into the alleyway, which means you're looking over at the bunkhouse right now, which is a flop house type thing. There's a Toydarian who's just sitting on the stoop. He's smoking some kind of hookah. He just barely opens his eyes up and looks at you guys. Toydarians, that's Watto from Tatooine. They've got the snout thing, and they have little bitty wings that for some unknown reason can help them fly, even though physics don't really like that. Maybe it's the Force, who knows.
And just to be clear, I went to some really extravagant lengths to recover my duster and my holdout blaster before I fled TEEMO's palace.
Yeah, we like flash back to the point where the door's wide open. Ariana gesturing towards the door. No, you go back into the armory to get the duster.
Yes, it has some great sentimental value. I think I stole it off the back of the slaver who had me.
Ooh, I like that.
So I'm not about to let that thing go. Are those cliffs?
Yes, that's a great question. So Mos Shuuta is it's a really small. Like they have two spaceports. Those are two landing pads, right? So this is all kind of. Imagine Mos Shuuta is like a castle, and this is the village that effectively serves the castle. Normally, when people come down into those landing bays, they're delivering stuff for him or coming to meet with him. This is all about TEEMO the Hutt. So yes, those are all cliffs, and there's like an electrified fence around it. So really, if you want to jump, I mean, you can get over the fence, but then you're going to have to traverse your way down a cliffside, and then you're in the middle of nowhere in Tatooine. It kind of sucks. You can go through the Electro Gate and make your way out of Mos Shuuta if that's what you choose. But really, your best egress or escape is to try to grab a shuttle or a freighter. Now,
so you said that we know that there's a ship that landed with a slaver on it. Do we know which?
Yes, you do know that. Now, do you know which of the two landing bays? No, might be good to ask around. That might be a good thing because it could be one or the other. I'll just tell you that it is 100% at one. So if you guess, I'm not going to move it to be a dick. Right? I'm a fan of your characters. I'm not an illusionist. So if you guess, good for you. If you fail, could be a reason. Could be some fun. Cool. So Zudo, you step across. You see the bunkhouse. The Toydarian. He looks up with his big bulging eyes that are half lidded, and he doesn't seem to care. Like this happens often enough that he just takes another puff off of his hookah. Ariada and Nero, are the two of you following Zuto out, or did you want to do something else?
I'm thinking that Ariada, she has a frag grenade. She wants to wait at the exit and time it so that when the Gamorreans open the door into the cantina, she can toss a frag grenade at them.
So you can 100% do that. There are other people in the cantina.
The goal is for her to shoot it through the cantina so that it actually goes outside.
I see. So you want to like scoot it behind them, and then that is amazing and dangerous, and I love it. I think you can do that. What I'd like for you to do is, if that's what your plan is, that they're definitely going to come in the door, you can remember your training, which means you roll with prowess, right? I think that's the best potential roll.
I think, yeah, unless it's join the fray.
But I want to check in with Mora, and also, hey, Mora, your buddy is outside in the front where you see the grenade lady toilet thinking about throwing a grenade. So there's that too. Do you want to say anything to Lupo? Like jump?
Actually, I think what yeah. So I was gonna say, what I do is I radio to Lupo and I say, run through the bar and come to the back door as quickly as possible. Don't let anyone get in your way. So that way he will lead the Gamorrean even further in.
Okay, cool.
And if you need it, I'll use that as help.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. I like that. Awesome. So door, I mean, it's open, is a couple steps down and into the cantina. A droid comes running in from behind the bar. Devroni yells out, "We don't serve droids here." He runs across, jumps up onto a table, jumps off of that, heading towards you, Mora, and then a half dozen Gamorreans come down in through that. They've got their electric cudgels charged up, and they're squealing and their piggish noise at you guys. But then, Ariada, you've got a thing to do about that. So why don't you go ahead and roll with prowess?
Okay, and I think right before she's not that evil, so right before she does this, I think she yells into the cantina, "Everybody duck!"
Cool. Well, a lot of people were kind of like somewhat ducked. Now they're like flipping tables and running. Oh, is this bad?
This is really bad. I got snake eyes.
You did get snake eyes.
Oh,
Oh, that's so delicious. Oh, thank you so much. You are generous. You are so generous.
So I want to give you the option at some point, Rich. You know, the things that I own are gear. So like the bodyguard is gear and the shuttle is gear and all that kind of stuff. And you can take that stuff away.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the grenade.
Also on the point of snake eyes, I wanted to mention at the start of the session I roll mock to the flame, and I got a 6. So you have one hold as a GM to put me in the bad spot anytime you wish. Just so you know.
Thanks.
Yes.
I know exactly what I'm going to use that. It is not right this moment because you're in enough of a bad spot. Ariada, you call out your warning. You toss the grenade as the Gamorreans come in. The grenade looks like it's perfectly, and then it hits the top of a chair and bounces on top of the table and a little bit back towards you guys, right as Lupo is dashing across. The grenade goes off. It's a bright conflagration, and a legless Lupo comes flying in the air and lands at your feet, Mora. Apologies, madam. What do you do?
I pull out my holdout pistol, blast Lupo in the head so that they have no tracking or anything like that for us. I turn to Ariada and I say, "You owe me," and we head off.
Oh shit!
Gosh, this is the saddest ranger story I've ever heard.
Wow. That was awesome.
I am frightened of Mora.
And I think Ariada doesn't bat an eyelash at that as she turns around to walk with her and she says, "So, was that respectable?"
No.
I mean, what you did, was that respectable?
Oh. What I did, I'm teaching you how to be, I'm talking about being respectable and showing appearances. In this case, we couldn't leave witnesses behind. Everything's gone. Lupo served me well, but you tossing a grenade into a bar does not give you a good reputation. So it is not representing you well.
That's not the most subtle choice for a rebel spy, if I'm going to be honest. But now that we've left a big smoking flare for TEEMO, I suggest we make a hasty exit out the back.
Yeah, so I'm imagining that some of this conversation took place as you're standing on the opposite outside of the cantina by the bunkhouse, and with Zuto's line of perhaps we make a hasty exit, we're going to call our first break. And we got an hour left, so it may be our only break, so we'll take 5 minutes. Go ahead and hit bio or whatever you need, and we'll jump back in after that.
Cool.
Hey, Rich. I wanted to say congratulations to you and your family.
Oh, thank
on
you
the
very
house.
much. Thank you.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're very, very excited. I get an office that I don't have to share with my wife. I get to be all selfish. Sweet.
I don't get experience for that, do I?
If you miss, you get experience points. So yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
XP in this game is like super easy to get. You get XP on a miss, and you get XP whenever you do your little triggers.
Okay.
I do think you that well, Zuto didn't escalate the situation.
I think I attacked a lot of people that weren't expecting it, but that's
Yep, take an XP for that one.
ouch. Yeah.
I think that Mora took charge and issued some orders there. And probably talked about reputation right at the end there. Didn't really commend anybody, but that's okay. God, I just can't believe that Liv was dead. It just blew my mind.
This is very dramatic, though.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wait for Michael and Larry to rejoin us. Combat in this game works in a series of countdown clocks. I don't know if the game intends for those to be visible to players or not. But in the MC advice section, it's got a series of countdown clocks with just a number of wedges in it. You're supposed to create a countdown clock, and within that countdown clock, as the MC, you're supposed to have, a few points where the situation will tilt or change once you hit that point. So, and that's the way it's done. You don't really even stat up bad guys. You just narrate all of it. So this is going to be crazy and interesting. And I think it's going to be fun. Hopefully we'll go for the fun part, but the other stuff's it's interesting. All right, welcome back, guys. You have successfully escaped from the cantina, which now is pretty well wrecked. Smoke billowing up into the twin sun sky. You guys can have moved unless you wanted to hang out at the bathhouse and the bunkhouse. Here is what's happening. The streets are filled with people, but also a number of TEEMO's forces, primarily Gamorreans, but there are others. He even employs a few humans. You know that folks think of TEEMO as not a KRAYT hut, but they're also, a lot of them exist because he pays them. He will pay for information. It's entirely possible that while sneaking around, you could get ratted out. So that is a threat that is present here. If you wish to get the KRAYT FANG, which is the name of the freighter that the Trandoshan Trex has here, you will need to make sure that the docking clamps are released. Now, Nero, and really all of you would have general working knowledge that there is a single spaceport control. It is directly north of you, actually kind of on the flip other side of Mos Shuuta. So if you look at the map, you'll see that you're down on the southern end near the bathhouse and bunkhouse and the dewback stables, which, by the way, it just tickles me to no end, the idea of stables of dewbacks. But up there in spaceport control is the most direct way to release docking clamps. Now, if you have like a searing laser or an ATST, you can blow off docking clamps. It's like boots. It's like they put a boot on your landing gear. If you're willing to just rip off the landing gear, you could maybe do that too. So you've got options. I'm not saying there's only one way to crack this nut, but that is what is present for you guys. I'm not even going to put that to a roll because I think it just makes sense. The characters that you have, 3 of you have ships or access to ships. 1 of you is an operative. You know that's what you're going to have to do.
And the operative has a lightsaber.
Dude, that is awesome. You do have a lightsaber.
As soon as the drama goes on with Lupo and everything, Mora turns to the rest of them and they have this discussion while they're moving. And Mora's going to direct them towards the spaceport, not bothering to talk to people because you can't trust them here. The spaceport's the best place to unlock the ship and find out which bay it's at.
That is true. Anybody doing anything on your way?
I think Ariadne is going to try and elaborate on that plan. She's saying that I think the idea is very correct. It's a very good strategy, but tactically, we're going to have to. How are we going to get into this? We need to think this through. How are we going to get into the base? And what I'm trying to do is trigger my methodical move.
Ooh, smart. Smart. The methodical move. When you lay out your plan for a mission with others, roll with focus.
Preferably without any more explosions.
The explosion that we left behind will hopefully be good distraction from the spaceport.
Exactly. That's what I was hoping. It was all part of my plan. Didn't you all realize that?
You're always thinking 2 moves ahead, aren't you, Ariadne?
You know me, Shuuta. So do you want me to roll now or do you want me to elaborate more on it?
I'm good with that. Like, I think it's enough.
Okay. Maybe I won't get snake eyes.
Maybe.
So that's a 4 plus. What is methodical roll with? I don't see it here. Focus. That's a 5. Yay.
Yay.
Hey, I got experience.
Awesome. On a mission, you hold 1 anyway.
Okay.
But I introduced a serious complication during the mission.
More serious than a blown up cantina? Okay, let's go for it.
The spaceport control facility is a low, squat building clinging to the edge of the Mos Shuuta bluff. The front entrance stands open, but a pair of spaceport security droids stand at attention. If you're going to get off Tatooine, you need to disable the docking clamps holding the KRAYT FANG in its landing bay, find out where it is, and you're going to have to get past these droids somehow. And I love the picture of the droids, so I'm totally going to share it with you guys just so you know what they look like, because they look kind of BA. There you go. That's what our cool security droids look like. Look at those malevolent red eyes.
Looks a little familiar.
I know, just a little familiar. Yeah, some little HK.
I picture Ariadne like peeking around a corner and then looking back and looking at Shuuta and saying, "Are those assassin droids?"
Well, they're not medical droids, I can tell you that.
Well, that's good because the medical droids are nasty. They know just where to cut you.
So,
I feel
Ariadne,
the same about assassin droids.
you keep bragging about having this lightsaber. How about if we go around the side and cut our way in?
Sure, I think we can do that. I think I know which one is the on button.
Ariadne, you also have infiltration specialist. So if you want to try to trigger that as you guys are sneaking around trying to make your way into the control facility, that might be good. Your die rolls have gone so well for me so far.
How many segments do we have left on your clock?
My clock is so full.
Yeah, I'll level up pretty soon if we keep going this way. Not level up, sorry, advance. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was figuring that however we go in, because despite what you all might think, I do try and go in quietly. I might go out with a bang, but we want to do this so that it's reasonably quiet. So we don't want, if we're going to cut our way in, we don't want it to be in an obvious place.
Cool. So while you're doing that, I'll just pop out this map. So here's the main entrance here. You guys will be heading off here and trying to break into the side entrance. So you're making your way through the, come on, back camera. I'll just force you back. Ah, there we go. Awesome. So how did you do? Did you?
I haven't rolled. Do we have to come in on the ground floor?
Oh, no. I mean, you could try to climb up on top. I just figured anything the semi-obvious, the droids will potentially hear it, but that's what a die roll is for, to see how good you are at this.
Because I think Ariana would probably want to do a less obvious entrance, because we know that probably the spaceport's on some sort of alert. So we're going to want to cut our way in someplace that's not right next to a door, because the lightsaber can cut through everything, right? Pretty much. I don't think there's
universal
that much
can opener.
Yeah, pretty much. So she'd probably want to cut it closer to where we need to go ultimately, closer to the control tower, so that we can. But so then, yeah, you're right. We're going to have to climb up somehow discreetly. If we do it that way. If there's nobody has any issue with climbing, right? We can all get up.
Well, I have a jetpack, so I think I'll be all right.
That might be a little noisy, no?
I didn't think you'd be one to complain about noise.
I'm not sure if that rolled. I don't think it did. Oh God. What were you saying about the pip dice?
I tested them. They work, sir. You rolled a 4 and a 5. I see here. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so delightful.
Wait, but so that's with what? Roll with focus. Yeah, that still doesn't help me. I got a 6 unless somebody uses a bond. Then I can get up to a 7.
Help out here.
Oh, yeah.
Can somebody give me a boost?
What did you want to give one, Nero?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I was gonna say I would. I didn't want to step on any toes, though.
Yeah, Nero, how do you help out Ariana in trying to carry out this plan?
So basically, Ariana, you're trying to just get higher, to the next level, next floor.
Mm-hmm. So that I can cut our way in on a higher level where they won't expect us.
Okay. What are we imagining? Is there like some sort of like balcony kind of thing that you're trying to like latch onto and pull yourself up?
Yeah, I kind of imagine this a little like it's a high. So I imagine that it's not like a 2-story building, but that there's probably like a ridge. It's almost all metal. It's almost like somebody just took a metal thing and just slammed it into the side of like the very edge of the canyon, right? But there's probably just like a ledge thing, maybe gonna think so rain will slide off of it. So you climb up there, and then I think we're gonna try to use the lightsaber. So yeah, a boost makes sense to me. Is that you guys clear? Is that
boost?
Okay, good.
And I'm picturing like as you're giving the boost, like Ariana accidentally steps on your face. It's like,
yeah, it's like really sort of, which I feel slightly humiliated by like your boot like on top of my head or whatever it is.
Yeah, just say a little higher, a little higher.
Nice. Mora, you had given a bump to someone before, right? Earlier, didn't you help out Ariana?
Oh, I did. Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and mark that off.
Oh, awesome. I don't think you helped Ariana, did you?
I said I would. That's right. I said that if you were close enough.
Oh, right.
I could have, but that didn't.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So I put that back then. Okay. Awesome. So you get a 7, which means that you climb up and you have 1 hold that you can spend on infiltration specialist. What would you like to do there?
I arrive in a superior position, because that doesn't seem to be happening to me any other way.
Awesome. So you actually take out the lightsaber and like cut a hole? Is that what you're imagining?
If necessary. I mean, if there's no other entrance.
We got a lightsaber. I think you're fucking using it.
Okay.
It's a lightsaber.
Sure. Yeah. So push.
I can't make the universal can opener joke and not make you do that. So that's what happens. Bam. You do that. You guys boost each other up. We cut in, and the three, and then 4. All 4 of you have come inside to this place. So there's a large chamber here. As you guys you drop behind a few large computer banks, because again, this is Star Wars, so there's huge computer banks. There's a large holo display here that's showing a plot of the local aerospace. Standing in front of the display with her arms folded behind her back is a human woman with purple hair. And if you look on the NPCs and places, you will see her. It's Overseer Bryn. As you watch, she's speaking into a headset in a formal tone, kind of commanding. Imperial Shuttle Lambda 11238. This is Overseer Bryn with spaceport control. You are cleared for landing. Welcome to Mos Shuuta. There are half dozen technicians of different species who are working at consoles, and there are also 2 security droids, and you're currently at a superior position, which is that you guys are here and they haven't seen you come in. The floor-to-ceiling windows across the far wall, there are transparent steel windows that look out over the desert of Tatooine. If you had a moment to look, you would think it's beautiful. However, it's not quite as beautiful because you see an Imperial shuttle is coming in for landing.
All right, Nero. Let's get our lasers targeted on those droids while Mora and Ariata get the information they need.
Well, I was wondering, I mean, how close are we to, sorry, what was the woman's name?
Bryn.
Bryn.
Brynn.
I mean, is she close enough that we could possibly, like, grab her and use her as, like, a hostage?
Oh my goodness, that sounds hilarious and awesome. I think you are.
Because if that's the case, I'm going to try to do that. And I'm arrogant, so I'm not paying any mind to what, the stop.
So Nero stands up and heads that direction. Mora reaches out and then just kind of shakes her head.
Yes, this sounds
so
so foolhardy.
I just want to like march up to Bryn, and as you will see from my character sheet, I have my holdout pistol is basically like latched to like my my right forearm. You guys seen like Taxi Driver? It's like on a track, so it like I do like a little motion and it like pops into my hand.
Nice.
Out of my sleeve, and I'm gonna like just basically try to walk up to her and like put the holdout pistol to her head and tell everyone to like tell the droids to like drop their blasters or whatever.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I'm trying to do.
that is a very cool thing. I love that. So it seems like what you're trying to do is coax someone.
Absolutely.
Good at this thing. So hey, how could this go wrong? Bam, you step up. The 2 security droids are not fast enough to get a bead on you and shoot you before you put a gun towards Overseer Bryn. And what is it that you say to her?
I'm in charge now.
Nice.
Yeah. Where is the oh shoot, what's the name of the ship?
KRAYT Fang.
KRAYT Fang. Where is KRAYT Fang? Which dock is that located at?
Awesome. Then I need you to coax someone. Roll with guile.
All right. And I'm gonna use the pip dice and mother. Ah. All right. 3 even with a 2 is still 4. Gosh darn it. Or 5 rather, but anyway, still not good.
All right, you got a 5. So
even with help, it's no good.
Nero.
Well, actually, I have a question. Can more than one person help? So can you spend enough bonds?
Yes. You can spend multiple bonds, and multiple people can help in this scenario. So if you guys want to come up with some way that you're covering for him, you could maybe push this up to a 7. I'll leave it to you. I'll give you a minute.
I make eye contact with Mora.
So I think we make eye contact, and I tell Zuto, take out the droids, and I step out and start shooting. I see that this is probably going to go south, and they need a demonstration that they are in trouble. So I'm going to let Zuto shoot the droids, and I'm going to shoot not the technicians, but I'll probably shoot at the droids as well. The droids are the only guards in here, right?
Right. You have a bunch of there are 10 employees here who are working at consoles and the like, but yeah, this maybe not 10, like 8.
I think that engages I'm assuming that'll be join the fray.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that engages my inspirational move, which is my allies fight harder and longer than they otherwise would. You take a +1 ongoing during the battle.
Nice.
So we only have to spend 1 bond here as long as we engage this. So basically, I'll step out, we'll start shooting, we can see how that goes, but we'll spend a bond so that Nero can successfully intimidate.
Awesome. So we're clear by saying, okay, I'm going to join the fray. You're firing on the security droids.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Zudo as well, if I remember correctly.
Sure. But I think, so the way I'm understanding it is Nero's getting the +1 from being inspired because this is a battle now, and then he's getting the 1 help from Mora. So
yes,
I'm still going to keep a hold on my bond. But yes, I'll shoot too.
Okay, cool. Then when you shoot, why don't you directly engage your enemies and roll with prowess, Zuto? Okay. And then Arya, what are you doing as you see your brother, who still has a boot print from you on his head? It's Dusty. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And he just ran up to the overseer and is trying to stick a blaster in her face. He does this cool like pop out maneuver. You didn't even know he had a gun there.
He looks so cool, except for the boot print, right?
That's why I failed the roll. Thanks, Jess. All right.
Yeah, you got some stickers out of that. Yeah, I think you see her briefly look down at the frag grenades and decide that that's probably not a good option. and then
like a Rhodian who's like follows the console and he sees you look at the thermite grenades and he's like,
right, and he probably already heard what happened to the cantina. Yeah. So yeah, so while they're doing that, I guess Ariadna is going to be looking around to see what else is going on or what else might be useful here. You know, because I'm assuming they've got the droids engaged, and you know the overseer is also engaged. So she would be looking to see, okay, so we've got this Imperial ship coming in. Which landing dock is it going to? And we didn't get an answer where the KRAYT FANG is.
How about we go a little broader? It sounds like you're kind of giving backup to these guys. Does that seem fair? Awesome. So I want you to roll with instinct. We're engaging the like conflict maneuver of a countdown clock now, guys. This is exciting.
Okay, I was sort of thinking maybe
Mora's fault.
I was sort of thinking maybe I was snooping around, but
sure. If you want to snoop around, I see what you're saying. Well, let's once Mora declare we're joining the fray, we'll kind of shift over, and you will still be using the same stat. If you want. I was thinking that you were covering someone with instinct, but if you're trying to execute or plan a strategy, you can roll with guile if that's where you are angling and see her being most useful.
Ooh, that's a tough call, actually. No, I do like the join the fray options there. Actually, I think it'll be backup or cover someone because she's got a lot of guilt about what she did to Nero already.
All right.
You know, by getting him caught and backstabbing him, even though he doesn't know about it. So I think she's going to try and make sure that he comes through this okay. So it'll be backup or cover, everybody.
Awesome.
So roll with instinct.
Cool. So let's start with Mora, and I'm sorry that all of this is like rolled into your roll, Nero. So on a 7 to 9, when you poke someone, they act all right. They decide how. You do take a +1 forward with Overseer Bryn. So she will pause, and she's waiting for her security droids to take care of you for a moment, but she hasn't said no or fired on you at all. She is not going to take a violent action towards you. She's got droids for that. So let's see, Mora, what is your roll result?
This would be with prowess, is that correct?
If you're directly engaging, which is shooting them, then yes, you roll with prowess.
I got a 4.
That is terrible. Take an XP.
Yes.
On a miss, on a hit, yeah, you complete your actions, and on a miss, I just go with the principle. So you fire, you hit the shoulder of one of them, but it does not take it out. And you see those cool things. They are assassin droids, which means they're scary and it will fire upon you. I want you to take a wound. I'm skipping straight past stun, and I want to give you 1 wound.
Not sure they even have a stun setting.
That's right. Oh, and dang it, it alphabetizes them, the stats, but it goes to the way the wounds work is it goes hurt, wounded, and critical. So you are hurt by that first shot. Even though it says critical, hurt, wounded, that's because I don't know why it's alphabetizing. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it in post. Okay, bam, you're shot. Now we scoot over to see what Zuto is doing. You were rolling with prowess as well.
And that's a 10.
What? You're awesome, sir. That is mighty fine shooting text. So with a 10, sorry. So okay. So on a hit, I move up the battle track. On a 12, on a 7 to 9, your actions come at a cost. Okay, so we have a fail, then we move up the battle track. So you take out the second of the 2. So imagine the 2 of you like pop out from behind the computer consoles. We have a slight hit, and Mora gets hit back. Zuto, what does your weapon look like? What does it look like when you take out this security droid?
Yeah, so he has it's a blaster carbine. I'm imagining it's got like a little stock to it, but it's kind of like dense and hefty looking despite being shorter. So he can kind of reach around, and it's got it stuck in his shoulder, and he just kind of don't know what the term is, but you start at the chest and then it goes up because of the recoil.
Nice.
So it goes up and blows up his head.
Yeah, so you hit him right in the middle of his like golden chest. You split between those glowing red eyes, and it falls straight back. Clonk, lands with a clunk on the metallic floor, and that security droid is expired. He's
and
up.
I'm sorry. I think this is the point where Mora turns to Zuto and says, good job. And that's whenever the other assassin droid shoots her and she kind of falls on the floor. Oh.
I love it. And hey, you're encouraging someone for a good job. So take an XP for doing that, Noble. Nice. Nice work, Crime Lord Noble. As this security droid goes up into droid heaven with Lupo. And it's like, did she kill you too? Okay. So we look at Ariana. What does it look like when you make your roll?
I actually got an 8.
Nice.
Actually, it's a 9. So this is my first successful roll on this game. So anyway, yeah, that's a 9 for backup and cover. So I'm assuming what this means is that Ariana managed to sneak up behind that second assassin droid, and since she had the lightsaber out already, I guess that's probably what it would be. So I imagine this is one of those cases where the lightsaber is like suddenly punching through its chest from behind, just as it's about to give like the killing blow to Mora.
Nice. Yeah, it moves forward malevolently, clanking, and it says, "You're must destroy meat bag." And then the lightsaber sticks out from his chest, and you see that white nimbus around where it's burning through all of its circuits, and then the red lights they go out, and it falls in a heap. And now we have overseers. Yeah, that sucks for her, man. She's like totally kind of hosed. Overseer Bryn, she sees she was working on some clever comeback to you, Nero. Talking about the superiority of her HK-74s, but then you guys killed them all with a license. So she says, there are Imperials on the way. This is not wise.
Right.
So I turn to Ariata, who's where the doors are, and I tell her, lock the door. I turn to Bryn or Nero and I say, tell the Imperials that rebels have attacked attack the cantina, and they need to get there for defense right away.
I bristle a little bit at this taking orders business, but
Oh, and by the way, I have no problem if you decide not to. I mean,
oh yeah, no,
that's
that's fine.
role playing, the boss. Yeah.
I think Nero actually thinks it's a good idea. Being arrogant, I'm going to say something like exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, report that to the Imperials, and also direct their ship to whatever dock that the KRAYT FANG is not at.
Nice.
So wherever KRAYT FANG is, direct them to the other one.
Cool. So because I've already had you coax and you have some influence over her, you also have destroyed her security droids. She will say, I directed them to land at Bay Besh because the other one has the KRAYT FANG. They are already on their way. You're not going to make your way to Auric before the Imperial forces catch you.
Yeah. Why don't you just let us worry about that, okay? And do what we just told you.
So, does Zuto's survival kit include any sort of medical patch or stim thing or anything like that? He could help.
I think it does. I think it should. You should definitely find time to rest and recoup, if you'd like.
Well, I'm trying to patch up Mora.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do that, and I'd say to Mora, the Empire's not really the one in power here. It's TEEMO. And who's to say that when we leave this spaceport controlled bay, that Bryn doesn't just light our location up like hot fire? I think a certain, how should I say this, menacing member of our crew might need to offer a threat that would be even more dire than what TEEMO has to offer.
Well, what I kind of thought we would do. So I think this is under, you're patching me up and we're talking quietly. What I thought we might do is I saw thermal detonators on someone's belt. We'll escort everyone out and blow this place while we head to the Imperial shuttle rather than the KRAYT, because they'll expect us to go for the KRAYT because we talked about that.
Explosions. I should have guessed. But I must say, I find your plan to be very clever, Mora.
And plus, we get an Imperial shuttle.
I knew I was coming to the right person when Nariata said she needed a favor. So, let's do this. Is your shoulder feeling all right? I gotta raise my voice like we're, returning to the main conversation.
I will be perfectly fine. It was just a glancing blow as I cough up a little blood or something.
Cool. So you guys engaged a couple of things. First of all, and I don't think I've done a good job pushing this, but to get more bonds, all you have to do is share encouraging words with someone and you can add a bond. If they reciprocate, they get a bond with you as well. And that's just the number thing. You just move the number up. So all you get, thumbs up is good enough. Now, you two have just done rest and recoup. So I'm going to have both of you. I don't think either of you have a strain, but that's okay. But go ahead and roll with focus, Zuto. And if so, you can choose to recover. Well, this is weird. So it sounds like you choose to recover your own wound in this, but I like that you've engaged it, so I'm going to have you roll with focus, unless you suck at focus.
I got an 8. Awesome. I don't think I have any wounds, but...
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, you can choose one. Connect with someone and gain a bond with them. Get injury seen to and recover a wound, which means that we could move that wound, that hurt, off of Mora. Make a discovery or realize something that's eluded you. Find a moment to true release and recover another strain. You gain a sense of purpose from this time and take +1 forward. What would you
Oh,
like?
I definitely. Well, so this roll counts for recovering her wound as well.
Yes, because you
Okay.
both did the move. Well, yeah.
So yeah, I'll spend that hold to heal her wound.
Okay,
For sure.
cool. I'm
So
going
I
to roll
think
it
with
with
this,
it this way, but I'm wondering if this is like both of you would roll.
Hmm.
I'll roll if you want me to.
And that way Zudo gets his own choice. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and roll if you want.
Okay, it can only go worse, right?
Yes.
That is with what was
Focus.
it again? Focus. So that's a 9.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you also get one choice from that list.
In that case, I will take a sense of purpose because now we have a new.
Awesome. That way you get some
Right.
kind of benefit and you're still helping. So we engage the move, you both roll it, and then you're good to go. Hey, I know that we have this stun maneuver on Nero at Wearied. Do you want to try to rest and recoup that as well, Nero, during this moment after Brand starts carrying
Yeah.
your orders?
Yeah. I guess I'm just trying to figure out like. Okay, so she's just following along. So yeah, I will do a rest and recoup
Yeah, you've got her. You got her by. Yeah.
at gunpoint. So yeah. All right. So I shall roll. Haha! Wow. I wish I could have done that earlier. 12.
Wow, that's amazing. Cool. So yeah, you get 2
So
of those options.
well, I definitely want to I strain and or recover another strain. Okay, and then let's see. If you connect with someone and gain a bond with them. I think that makes any sense within the. Hmm.
We all know you want to get a bond with Overseer Bryn. It's okay.
Oh wow! I didn't. I wasn't considering NPCs, right? Yeah, I think in that moment of hostage taking, we really connected, um, and yeah. I'm trying to turn up the charm, and I guess she's responding. Yeah, Stockholm children, exactly. So
You're
how
always
long?
better at that.
How long you been working here?
Yeah, Bryn, she says, I understand the situation that you're under. I have no great love for TEEMO the Hutt. He's taken friends of mine as well.
Well, we are going to be getting off this nasty little rock. As soon as we get to the ship. So, you certainly know your way around. Why don't you tag along?
She hesitates for a moment, looking over her crew, of all the other members at the space control. And then she says, give me a blaster.
Oh.
What do you do?
Well, this one's sort of attached to my arm. Hmm. Oh God, that's Rich. You really put me on the spot.
Yes, that's what I was after. You want me to jump away from?
Yeah.
you?
Why don't you jump away for a second while I think about this one, how to handle it?
Cool. So we'll check in with Ariata. Ariata, you on your comlink, right? The cool little lipstick case comlinks that awesome rebel spies have. You catch up because you also pick up the Imperial band, right? And so you hear the stormtroopers are being like they're being sent out in groups of 3. You guys Bryn carried forward. They have sent 2 teams to investigate the cantina, but they're also moving over to lock down the KRAYT FANG. And there's communication that's coming back towards the crew who not the crew, sorry, the folks that work at the control center here. Nobody's really paying attention to them. Brent's giving them her orders, but now she's kind of sort of flirting with your brother. So they're calling back like, wait, the KRAYT FANG, are they still secure? They're confirming for information. What are you doing?
So I'm trying to remember. So did I overhear Mora and Zuto saying that we wanted to actually take the Imperial shuttle?
I don't think so. They talk privately, right? So
yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking. Okay.
Maybe
but I think
while
kind of dramatic. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well maybe while Nero is schmootzing up the Bryn, we have a chance to come and share our thoughts with you.
And actually, that doesn't have to happen, because what Ariada is looking to do actually is sort of look over the shoulders and like, you know, she's also got a vibroblade, so she could be intimidating one of the techies to make sure that the Imperial one remains unlocked and unlock the KRAYT FANG. But she's thinking it the opposite way. She's thinking of making it look like we're going for the Imperial one, when actually we go to the KRAYT FANG. So she's just trying to make sure that we have options. So I have no idea if that's a move or not, but it's a matter of trying to make sure that trying to get them unlocked, so she doesn't have to try and cut them loose with a lightsaber, because that probably just wouldn't go very well.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so you're trying to work through the let's say it's the Rodian at the control panel, right? Trying to get him to throw everybody off. And I think Zuto, if you want to come in at this point and give Ariada an idea of what's going on, in case you guys wanted to flip it, because I don't want you to necessarily be working against each other.
Yeah. So I think I'll come in and I'll say like, yes, make sure you leave the KRAYT FANG unlocked. I want to be there, very quickly. We don't have a lot of time to make our escape. And then I'll kind of like pull Ariada a little bit and say, plans have changed. We're going to go take a contingency plan, and I think we're going to do a little bit of a switcheroo. What do you think about taking that Imperial shuttle for a little bit of a joyride?
Oh, I've never driven one of those. I think that's great. We'll have a lot more potential with that one.
Yes, and perhaps a lot more heat as well, but
we do okay with that. We've always gotten through in the past.
And space has a lot more breathing room, I find, than this little cramped mesa of hut space. Although I suppose the vacuum of space not very breathable.
Yeah, Ariada quirked her eyebrow at that, and was like, and you see her mouth, breathing room. Yeah, and Trent says, I got it. And so she'll turn back around to make sure that the KRAYT FANG is obviously left unlocked, but also trying to check and make sure that they don't lock down the Imperial, which maybe they wouldn't do naturally. I don't know if that's standard protocol that they would lock it down anyway.
It has to be requested by the Empire for it to be a lockdown, which they can do if they're going to vacate. But the fact that they haven't requested that tells you
probably have some people waiting inside.
Hey, one of them could be a pilot. The other one of them could be a harmless dignitary. So totally could be that.
You know those dignitaries with their dark robes and all that stuff.
Right.
Cool. Okay, so Rodian carries out your little directive there. The KRAYT FANG is unlocked and ready to go. It can lift off at any time, and you're good to go. And then they don't mess with anything with the Imperial shuttle. You had a thing, Nero. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. So I was just looking over the moves, and I thought I could maybe trust my feelings.
You have feelings, you scoundrel?
I do. Romantic ones at this moment, perhaps. So I just kind of want to get a sense of whether or not Bryn is being sincere with me, and then I'm just going to go with whatever feeling I get from that.
There you go. I love it. Trust your feelings. You roll with instinct.
All right. So
you should just tell her I love you, and then see if she says I know.
That's a little bit too vulnerable. I'm not going to go there yet. But
By the way,
5. What is my instinct? A 0. Damn it. All right, I got a 5.
all right, awesome. By the way, just so you know, not that you should hit the little food bar to get the pellet too crazy much, but anytime you say you have a bad feeling about this, the scoundrel gets an XP. So,
Oh, yes. I know. I should keep that in mind.
sorry, they're neat little bits. You might have a bad feeling about this because, by the way, you just got an XP for your failure. As you search Bryn, and like she reminds you of like an old girlfriend that you had. And she's all in, man. This is crazy. Go nuts. She's walking away from this job, but I mean, who really loves being stuck in the middle of Mos Shuuta with TEEMO the Hutt? You're such a handsome Twillick.
I am.
She's all in, man.
Well, whether it's true or not, I believe her, and so I'm gonna. But I don't think the others are probably going to really approve of this, arming of our captive. So I'm going to do it on the sly.
That's a great idea.
So I think while you're doing this on the sly, I think what happened is Mora, of course, heard her say something like, "Give me a blaster." Mora eyes her, stands up, walks over to the HK droids, picks up their blasters, and puts them behind her. Right? Tucks them in so she doesn't get those. Right? But yeah. I think I think that works beautifully with you handing her a blaster on the side.
Okay, I see. Yeah. I'm like, let's just keep this between the two of us, and I, look at her meaningfully as I hand it to her.
She nods, kind of brushes a little bit of hair over her ear, and then takes that blaster and slides it in. She doesn't have the cool like pop out holster thing, but she's got some place to hide it in her coat there.
Well, if she plays her cards right, we can get her one later. So
she knows that if she plays her cards right, she can get one later. She agrees.
So are we like cutting to being outside of the spaceport?
And I think that's exactly what we're doing. We're cutting to we're cutting to you guys overlooking the shuttle, the spaceport with the shuttle. I think that would be a cool thing. Hold on. Yeah.
Question: does my hold from infiltration? It would be only for this building, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So can I discover an important secret or item on the way out?
Yeah.
Unless you need me to use it to get I can also use it to. Oh no, it doesn't have. Sorry, it wasn't infiltration specialist that I had one left on, was it? It was methodical. So reveal an escape route where none existed previously, or supply someone with a vital or needed piece of equipment or intel. So I think I want to do unless we need to use it to have a quick and easy exit, then I'll take the one that gives us a piece of equipment or intel.
Awesome. Piece or equipment or intel. So you, that's the weird thing about playing in a thing, but then abstracting it up over top, right? Because I gave you some interesting intel about the thing, but I want to give more because it's fun that way. The Sheki is the name of the commander over the shuttle, and the information that you have is that yes, he is still on board, and from your lipstick case comlink, you are able to hear him giving orders. They're looking for you. They're working for TEEMO the Hutt.
So they're looking for all of us.
Yes, he's calling out descriptions of the 4 of you.
Oh, crink! This just keeps getting more complicated. Oh, so yeah, so she'll tell the others about that, saying it looks like the Sheki commander is working for TEEMO. Well, now we have no compunction about taking his shuttle, do we?
Mora kind of glares at you and says, "Compunction? Why?"
Wait, I thought we were taking the slaver ship.
That's awesome.
Good.
We do it.
I'm glad you thought so.
We screen wipe at that point. We do the Lucas screen wipe because that's like the best scoundrel. Like, oh, who tricked the scoundrel? And we pick up with the 5 of you because you have the lovely overseer Bren.
I'd like to do a time check, Rich.
Okay.
Are you okay?
11:21. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so we've got 9 minutes. I think that's a fair point.
Okay.
I will let's do the setup and then we'll kind of cliffhanger it a little bit. A large pour stone hangar looms before you with the enormous letter, not for Arik, right? Because you guys decided to go to Besh. So the letter Besh is stenciled into the building's side. And as you guys are looking at it, you can see through the open hangar doors to the cavernous interior where there is an Imperial shuttle with 4 stormtroopers standing outside, as well as 3 engineers who are just performing post-flight checks. And you see this individual. This individual, Commander Sheki, is standing amid his troops, preparing, giving them orders. And that is what you guys see as we end the episode. That is your conflict to get off Mos Shuuta. Cool.
I think we could have Ariada like look at Nora and look down at her. Like she has 2 frag grenades left. I'm like, frag grenade?
Awesome. So we've got 8 minutes. We could bang out a quick feedback because I'm really curious what your thoughts on the system in particular and how things meshed with that system. So if you guys got a few moments, let's do roses and thorns. Roses and thorns. Thorns are things that didn't quite work for you, a little confusing. You'd like for me to brush up or for us to talk about it or look into it to clarify it for next session, which will be next week. Thorns also could be just something about the story that just didn't quite gel for you, or it could be a spotlight related issue. Anything that you want to give constructive feedback for, I'm very open to it and happy to hear it. And then we'll finish off with roses, which are giving attaboys and attagirls to the other characters, the other players, not the characters, they don't exist except in our imagination, the other players. And anything that you really enjoyed or things that you want to make sure that we highlight and have more of, right? I'm going to say the X part and like the O part, like more of that as well. So we'll start with thorns. Stephen, do you have some thorns you'd like to share, sir?
Not that I can really think of. Why don't you start at the other end? And
okay, cool. I'll flip it. Christo.
Before we get to thorns, I think I actually got to an advancement because I broke into somewhere you don't belong. We broke into the Space Center. And I attacked that robot from behind, so the robot wasn't expecting it.
There you go.
Cool. Okay, so I'll have to look up what that advancement will get me. Awesome. So yeah, failing is so great. And I like that. And that's okay, Thorn. I think Thorn. Negative. What's negative? I don't have anything really negative because it's Star Wars, so that's always going to be good. I guess for me, it's just because I'm not that familiar with a move, so mapping what I'm trying to do to a move is a little hard, but that's what I have you for.
I feel like I struggled a little bit with mapping some of the moves, and I apologize for that. So,
no problem there. It was because I was actually digging through. The only thing was I was digging through thinking, okay, where's the combat move? And I looked at join the fray, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It gives you all those different options for how you're in the fray, but that's not a thorn. But yeah, just the mappings was the only thing that I struggled with a little bit, but that has nothing to do with, that's just learning a new PBTA game. So no, sorry, no thorns.
Dang it. Okay. Michael.
Thorn, I was really trying to find a moment to say the phrase "Don't get your leku in a knot." And I just couldn't find it. So that's a bummer. Hopefully next session. No, really, it's great. Star Wars World is awesome, and you're a great Star Wars World GM, and it was a lot of fun. I'm interested to see a little bit more about how the basic moves have changed. I mean, I'm fine with like the stat changes and stuff, but this whole battle track, I'm like, oh, what's going on in that situation? I don't know yet.
Because obviated my battle track from being such badasses on one of them. So
your as a rose, I'll go ahead and jump to that. Your Jawa Hootie had me rolling on the muted, but that really got things off to a good start for me. So yeah, great session.
Awesome. Larry, what about you? What thorns did you have?
I honestly can't think of any thorns. If I have any thorns, it would be more just to myself. I just felt like it took me it was taking me a little bit to sort of inhabit the character. But no, I'm really enjoying it, and I mean, you really did a great job putting me in the spot with the whole, give her a blaster or not thing. That was really genius. So kudos to you.
I appreciate. I know we're still on thorns, but I appreciate that you're like, I'm going to make a roll. Like that felt right. Like engaging the system there to help you make that decision. That's the right way to go. And then when you failed and like, I'm giving you shitty info and you're like, nope, gonna play into it. Trust in my feelings. That was awesome. That's bold. I know it's not fun. Like it's like, oh man, but it was perfect. I'm super excited.
Wait, so to be clear, is she with us?
She's with you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I just
wanted
to be clear, but so there, nothing blew up yet. Okay.
And she's armed. Don't forget.
Oh yeah.
You don't know that.
You're the player, don't forget. and she's gently rubbing Leku affectionately because wow.
I think that might be a good sort of jump off point for next session is like polling how we all feel about being there. I think that would be. I think Shuuta would have some thoughts.
Talk about some feelings.
Confessional.
Oh, one thing I did forget. I gave myself another XP because I struck a deal with.
Yeah, you totally did.
Yeah.
Good call.
So I just added one more there on there.
Steven, I've given you all this time.
I know, I've got one. Yeah.
All right.
So basically, I struggled quite a bit with picking a playbook with character creation and that kind of stuff. Because I was flipping through. I was like, "There's all these great characters. Half of them are Jedi. Jedi don't really fit this session. Don't fit the story. Let's see if I can't go some different direction." Everybody else had picked characters, and I was like, "Okay, a crime lord fits really well." And so it took me a little while to figure out what to play because there were almost too many options.
Yeah, I did leave a Sentinel in there, like. Because I felt like it fit. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
I didn't even pick up on that.
Sentinel was the one force-wielding playbook that I was like, when I looked at the Sentinel, I'm like, this is freaking perfect, like for Escape from Mos Shuuta. So we'll now transition to Rosa Steven. I'm sorry that you had trouble, and I hope that you like the character you created. She was amazing. I can't believe you shot Luke. Like I walked around after, like during the break. I'm like, you wouldn't believe what happened. I told my wife, she's like,
hey, you shot Lupo,
her own droid. And he had the cool like running across the tables, and she like, holy crap, that was such a great moment. Oh,
that was such a great moment, Steven. I love
bold that choice, and really, really told us a lot about your character. I love Mora now. Like, I'm scared of her, but she's super great.
Especially after Rich, you gave that sort of like, apologies, Commander. I was like, oh, I'm like, I like this droid now, and then pow. So
yes. God. My favorite character, my favorite NPC so far have been droids. Like I got to do an HK74 joke with meat bags, and I'm so glad somebody picked that picture out. That you called it. Krista, what roses did you have?
I liked that a lot. That was like Ariada's muck up, and then it turned into the droid losing its legs, and Arya was already suffering, and then Nora finished it off. So yeah, that's there, and yeah, you can always bring home the repercussions from blowing up that cantina because she probably killed some people she shouldn't have, or at least injured them. And then the other scene with the blaster was, with Bryn was fantastic. So that was really choice. I like that. And and in general, I think this is interesting because you have to sort of reset your mind when you're looking at these different moves and how to play them. And I like that. I like it when you take a powered by the apocalypse and twist it a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out and looking at all the moves to try and figure out which one I got to take.
That's right. Advancement time. You got a whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, any other roses you want to hand out?
I just think everybody did a great job of kind of intertwining our characters together. And I thought that our connections sesh was pretty nice. And I know we had a little bit of, I don't know if that fits, I don't know if that fits, but I think ultimately we came through with really solid crew with some cool dynamics. So I'm looking forward to that. Even for just one more session.
I'm sorry. I promise we'll do more. I've saved the website for curses in the rolling room on the NPCs and places, just in case, just as a reminder for myself that that's where that stuff can be found. Larry, any roses that you hadn't handed out? I mean, it's cool if you got them all out there. It's all good. I just want to give you that opportunity.
Yeah, no, I just thought there were lots of little gems here and there. I mean, the footprint on my face was lovely in and of itself. I thought everyone did. I just want to sort of echo Michael's comment. Like, I thought everyone did a good job of setting up those connections, and I think it's a very interesting crew. And yeah, I just I look forward to maybe playing, role playing some more of those connections. I know we haven't had everything's been very fast moving so far, but I'm hoping that at some point we can sort of bring them into play.
Cool. And Steven, any other roses you wanted to hand out?
Yeah. So I have to admit, just like everyone else said, it's kind of nice to be role playing with rock stars. Everybody was so good and really brought it and was very accepting of everything. I'd also like to say I really enjoyed, and I'm really curious about the way that bonds work in this, because to me it seemed to really sing. They helped whenever we needed them to. They were spent, and you get them back by having a kind word with another PC. That seems, to be really pushing the action along and pushing
It
some
didn't
of the
really
development along.
require a whole conversation about oh, well, what does my character feel about you now, and how can we make this bond something that's resolvable? Just oh, we had a nice moment, there's a bond. I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. And I like that it's a number. You don't have to write a little treatise on why it is that you've gone up on the thing, and then you can immediately turn around and spend it because it's not yeah, it's good. I agree. Bond thing, the countdown clock thing, we're definitely going to engage that when we start off because that's a rose for me. I think it's fascinating. It's terrifying and fascinating at the same time. And so that's really cool. Oh, I've got a phone call coming in, so I need to book, guys. But everybody have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thanks.